The impossible duel. The stars above were cold and endless. On the black field of a dead planet, two figures faced each other. Liam, a young human soldier with a worn-out uniform, gripped his weapon tightly. Across from him stood Kayla, the strongest warrior the galaxy had ever known. Her armor gleamed under the pale light and her eyes burned with the fury of 1,000 battles. The arena was silent. Millions watched through hidden screens across planets. They whispered to each other, certain that Liam would fall in seconds. After all, Kayla had defeated kings, warlords, and beasts from other worlds. No human had ever stood a chance against her. Liam's heart pounded in his chest. He knew he was not the best fighter. He had no fancy armor, no secret technology, and no backup. But he had something Kayla did not expect: determination. He remembered the faces of the people he had promised to protect. He could not afford to lose. A low hum filled the air as the countdown began. 3, 2, 1. Kayla charged first, a blur of silver and speed. Liam barely dodged her strike, feeling the air split beside his ear. He stumbled but kept his balance. Kayla smiled, a cruel and confident smile. She was toying with him. Liam knew he could not match her strength. He had seen videos of her battles, pure destruction in seconds. He had only one chance to outthink her. As Kayla attacked again, Liam pretended to slip. He fell to the ground vulnerable. Kayla moved in to finish him, her blade flashing. But Liam was ready. He rolled sideways, grabbing a handful of dust and throwing it into her eyes. Kayla blinked, stunned for a fraction of a second. It was enough. Liam leaped forward, jamming a small energy blade under a weak spot in her armor, right where the shoulder met the chest plate. It was a move no one had ever dared to try. The blade sparked and Kayla stumbled back, dropping her weapon. Gasps echoed across the galaxy. It was unthinkable. Someone had wounded Kayla. Liam stood over her, panting, his weapon ready. He knew she could still kill him if she wanted. He had only hurt her, not beaten her fully. But instead of rising in anger, Kayla dropped to her knees. The ground trembled as she spoke, her voice calm and deep. "You have defeated me, human. By the ancient code of warriors, my strength now belongs to you." Liam blinked, confused. He lowered his weapon slightly. "What do you mean?" he asked. Kayla looked up at him, her eyes filled with something Liam could not name. Respect, maybe even sorrow. "I am yours to command," she said. "Until death or until you release me." Liam's mind raced. He had heard of such codes in old legends, but he had never believed them real. Warriors from ancient times who pledged their lives to those who bested them in combat. The audience across the galaxy went wild. Messages flooded the networks. The greatest warrior had fallen to a human boy. Governments panicked. Warlords cursed. Rebel leaders made plans. Liam felt a heavy weight settle on his shoulders. This was bigger than him. He had just changed the balance of power across worlds, and not everyone would be happy about it. He looked at Kayla again. Her head was bowed. She was waiting for his command. "Stand up," Liam said quietly. She rose without hesitation. "I don't want a slave," Liam said, his voice shaking a little. "I want an ally. I want you to fight with me, not for me." For the first time, Kayla smiled. A real smile, small, but true. "Then I will fight by your side, master," she said. Liam winced at the word master, but said nothing. He knew he could not change old traditions overnight. The dead planet around them stayed silent, but somewhere out there, in the dark corners of space, powerful enemies were already moving. The boy who defeated the galaxy's strongest warrior had made history, and now, history would try to crush him. Master of the strongest, Liam could still feel the weight of millions of unseen eyes staring at him. The air around him was heavy, like the planet itself was holding its breath. Kayla, the undefeated warrior of 1,000 battles, now stood beside him, silent and waiting. The broadcast ended, but Liam knew the real trouble was only beginning. He turned towards Kayla. She was tall, strong, and calm, like a mountain that had chosen to follow a boy with no throne, no army, and no plan. What now? Liam whispered under his breath. The words meant only for himself. Kayla answered anyway, her voice steady. You are my master. I will follow you. The galaxy will fear you, and it will hate you. Liam frowned. He was no warlord. He did not crave power. All he had wanted was to stop Kayla from destroying his home. But now, by defeating her, he had gained something he could not even understand. As they walked across the broken land, Kayla spoke again, her tone softer. There is a code, older than the stars. If I am defeated, I must serve. My life is yours. Liam shook his head. I don't want your life. It is not a choice, Kayla said. The code binds me. My honor binds me. The silence between them grew heavier. Liam felt trapped in a promise he never made. They reached the edge of the battlefield where a small ship waited. It was old, patched together from different technologies. Liam climbed inside and Kayla followed without hesitation. As the ship rose into space, Liam looked back once at the dead planet. It had seen countless duels over the centuries. Now it was witness to a new legend, one that would shake the galaxy. They drifted through the stars, the ship humming quietly. Liam stared at the controls, pretending to be busy. But inside his mind was chaos. How could he lead someone like Kayla? How could he survive the enemies sure to come? He didn't have to wait long. The ship's warning lights blinked red. Kayla moved to the console and tapped a few buttons. We are being tracked, she said. 3 ships behind us. Bounty hunters. Liam's stomach twisted. Already? Kayla nodded. The moment I swore loyalty to you, you became the most wanted man in the galaxy. Liam swallowed hard. Why? Kayla's eyes met his. Because if they control you, they control me. And if they kill you, they free me. The cold truth hit Liam like a slap. He wasn't just a boy anymore, he was a key and a weapon. Alarms blared louder. The ships behind them closed in fast. Kayla turned to him, calm even now. What are your orders, master? Liam hated that word. He hated needing to give orders. But he forced himself to think. Running would be useless. Their ship was slower, weaker. They had no heavy weapons. We can't outrun them, Liam said slowly. Can we hide? Kayla tilted her head, considering. There is an asteroid field nearby. Dangerous, but possible. Then we hide, Liam said. Kayla gave a small nod, almost approving. She took the controls, guiding the ship toward a swirling mass of rocks and debris. Behind them, the bounty hunters fired shots missing by inches. The ship shook violently. Inside the asteroid field, it became a deadly dance. Massive rocks spun in every direction. One wrong move, and they would be smashed into dust. Liam gripped his seat tightly as Kayla maneuvered with incredible skill. He had never seen a pilot like her. Every movement was precise, every decision perfect. But the hunters were skilled too. They followed, weaving between the asteroids, hungry for the prize Liam had unwillingly become. Suddenly, Kayla pulled the ship hard to the left, diving into a narrow tunnel between 2 massive stones. The bounty hunters followed, but one misjudged. The gap. Their ship slammed into a rock, exploding in a silent fireball. Liam felt a brief spark of hope. Maybe they could survive this after all. The second hunter fired a missile. Kayla twisted their ship just in time, the missile grazing their side but missing the engines. The third hunter was smarter. They stayed back, waiting, hurting them deeper, into the field where escape would be impossible. Liam's mind raced. They're trying to trap us, he said. Kayla nodded. They are wolves. We are the wounded prey. Liam looked around the cockpit. There had to be something, anything they could use. Then he saw it. An old mining laser, half broken but still connected. Can we fire that? Liam asked. Kayla followed his gaze. A small smile touched her lips. Yes, but only once. Then let's make it count, Liam said. Kayla aimed the ship towards a massive asteroid, bigger than all the others. She charged the laser, waiting for the hunter to come close. The enemy ship closed in, sensing blood. "Now," Liam whispered. Kayla fired. The laser sliced through the asteroid, splitting it apart. Giant chunks of rock broke free, crashing into the bounty hunter's ship and tearing it apart in seconds. Silence filled the cockpit. The last ship was gone. They were safe. For now. Liam let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. But Kayla turned to him, her face serious. "This is only the beginning," she said. "The real enemies, and they are much worse than bounty hunters." Liam stared into the endless stars, feeling smaller than ever. He had survived the first attack. He had won the loyalty of the galaxy's greatest warrior. But somewhere out there, forces were gathering. Forces that would not rest until he was dead. The game had begun, and he was not ready. The bounty on his head deep inside the broken ship, Liam sat in silence. The wounds from their last fight had not healed. Not on the ship, not on him. Sparks flew from broken panels. The lights flickered, casting long shadows. Every sound made Liam flinch. Every second felt like the calm before another storm. Kayla moved silently around him, fixing what she could. Her hands were steady, her face unreadable, but Liam could see the tension in her shoulders. She was ready for another fight. She was always ready. Suddenly, the old communication console crackled to life. A deep voice full of malice filled the cabin. "To all hunters, mercenaries, and soldiers of fortune," it said, "the human known as Liam is now marked. The reward, 5 million credits alive, 2 million credits if dead." Liam's blood ran cold. The voice continued, slow and cruel. "He holds the key to the strongest weapon in the galaxy. Bring him to us, and you will be richer than kings." The message repeated, again and again, broadcast across thousands of systems. Liam turned to Kayla. "They're coming," he said quietly. Kayla nodded once. "They will not stop." Outside the small window, stars seemed to blink and shift. Somewhere among them, countless ships were already changing course, their greedy eyes fixed on one target. Liam. He was no longer a soldier, no longer a survivor. He was a prize. "We need a safe place," Liam said, his voice tight. Kayla's fingers danced across the controls. "There is no safe place now, but there are places they will fear to go." Liam raised an eyebrow. "Like where?" Kayla gave a rare smile, cold and sharp. "The grave markets." Liam had heard of them. Planets where law did not exist, where killers, thieves, and monsters ruled. A place where even nightmares feared to walk. "Better than waiting here to die," Liam muttered. The ship shuddered as Kayla set the course. The journey through space was long and tense. Every few hours, their sensors picked up ships following them. Sometimes one, sometimes dozens. Some tried to get close, but Kayla always found a way to lose them, diving into asteroid fields, slipping past black holes, hiding in the shadows of broken moons. But with every close escape, Liam felt the net tighten around them. He was hunted, and hunters never gave up easily. When they finally reached the grave markets, Liam stared in shock. The planet below was covered in darkness, lit only by fires and neon lights. Broken ships floated like skeletons in the sky. The air was thick with smoke and danger. They landed on a crooked platform, barely held together by rust and prayers. Around them, strange creatures watched with hungry eyes. Liam gripped his jacket tightly, feeling every gaze like a knife against his skin. "Stay close," Kayla said simply. Together, they walked through twisted alleys and shattered buildings. Vendors sold weapons, poisons, forbidden technology. Mercenaries laughed as they sharpened their blades. Bounty posters flickered on dirty screens, and Liam's face was on every single one. "He's here," a voice whispered nearby. Liam quickened, his steps heart-pounding. They reached an old tavern, its sign barely hanging by a thread. Inside, smoke curled in the air. Rough-looking aliens drank thick black liquids. Conversations died the moment Liam and Kayla entered. An old man, or something, that looked like a man, sat behind the bar, His eyes were made of metal. Kayla approached him without fear. "We need information," she said. The man chuckled. "Information costs extra these days, especially when the whole galaxy wants your little pet dead." Liam stiffened, but Kayla placed a hand on his shoulder, keeping him calm. "Payment will not be a problem," she said coolly. The man leaned forward. "Then listen carefully. The bounty hunters are not the real danger. Someone bigger has taken an interest in you." "Who?" Liam asked. The man smiled, revealing sharp metal teeth. "The Silent Empire." Liam had heard whispers of them, a group so secret and powerful that even speaking their name was considered a death sentence. They ruled from the shadows, pulling strings across galaxies. They wanted Kayla once. Now they wanted him. "If they want you," the man said, voice dropping to a whisper, "you are already dead." Before Liam could respond, the tavern doors slammed open. Armed figures poured in, guns raised. "There they are!" someone shouted. Liam and Kayla moved instantly. Kayla grabbed the table and flipped it over for cover. Liam ducked behind it, heart hammering. Blaster shots tore through the air. The old man at the bar just laughed and ducked behind the counter. Kayla drew a hidden blade from her boot and moved like a storm. She dodged blasts, struck down enemies, and shielded Liam at the same time. But there were too many, and more were coming. "Back door," Kayla shouted. Liam didn't argue. They ran, dodging tables and broken chairs, slipping through a narrow hall into the filthy streets again. Behind them, the bounty hunters roared with anger, chasing hard. Liam ran until his lungs burned, until the shouts faded behind them. They ducked into an abandoned building, hiding in the darkness. Liam leaned against a wall, gasping. "This will never stop, will it?" he asked. Kayla shook her head. "Not until we face them." Liam looked at her, fear and fire both burning inside. Him. "Then we need a plan." Kayla's eyes gleamed in the dark. "First, we find out why they want you so badly." Liam frowned. "I already know, because I defeated you." Kayla shook her head slowly. "No, there is something else. Something inside you. Something they fear." Liam felt a chill crawl up his spine. What was inside him? What secret did the galaxy's deadliest forces want so badly? And could he survive long enough to find out? Secrets of Kayla, the ruins they hid in, smelled of old metal and burning oil. Liam sat with his back against a cracked wall, every muscle in his body aching. Kayla stood near the broken window, watching the alley in silence. Her sword hung at her side, ready to strike if even a shadow moved wrong. The stars above the grave markets were hidden by smoke and fire. It was a place where trust was poison, and lies were currency. Liam stared at Kayla's back. Questions burned inside him, hotter than the blaster wound on his arm. He had followed her without thinking. He had trusted her strength. But now, he wasn't sure he truly knew her at all. "Why are they really after me?" Liam finally asked, voice low. Kayla did not turn. For a moment, Liam thought she wouldn't answer. Then she spoke, her voice colder than the wind outside. "It is not just because you defeated me." Liam frowned. "Then what is it?" Kayla hesitated, and for the first time since he met her, Liam saw something like fear flicker in her stance. "There is something inside you," Kayla said slowly. "Something you awakened when you defeated me. Something old, something forbidden." Liam's heart hammered in his chest. "What do you mean?" Kayla finally turned, her eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Long ago, before the empires rose, there were beings who could command not just soldiers, but the very will of others. Their blood carried a bond, a power to bind even the strongest to their cause without chains or fear. It was called the Will Forge. Liam shook his head, confused. "But I didn't do anything. I just fought. I just won." Kayla crouched in front of him, her face inches from his. "Your victory over me was not just skill, it was fate. The Will Forge inside you forced the old code to awaken in my blood. It made me yours, not by choice, but by destiny." Liam leaned back, stunned. "So you're saying I didn't just beat you, I bound you?" Kayla nodded slowly. Yes, and the Silent Empire knows it. Liam's stomach twisted. He had never wanted to control anyone. He didn't want a slave. He wanted an ally, a friend. But if what Kayla said was true, then his victory had stolen her freedom. I'm sorry, Liam whispered. Kayla looked at him with something like sadness in her eyes. Do not be. The bond saved me from the chains I wore before. You freed me from worse masters. Liam frowned. Worse masters? Kayla's face hardened. Before you I was controlled by the Silent Empire, not with honor, but with cruelty. They used machines inside my mind. They turned me into a weapon, without choice, without mercy. Her voice trembled for the first time. I killed worlds because they commanded it. I destroyed lives because they pushed a button. I was a puppet, a slave. When you defeated me, when your will forge touched mine, the machines broke. Liam stared at her, horror sinking deep into his bones. He thought he had only won a fight. He had no idea he had shattered something so terrible. Then why do they want me? Liam asked, voice shaking. Kayla rose to her feet. Because if they capture you, they can control the will forge through you. They can enslave warriors like me again. And if they cannot control you, they will kill you. Liam felt the walls of the ruined building close in around him. The Silent Empire was bigger, smarter, and more ruthless than anything he could fight, alone. Then we need to run, Liam said. Kayla shook her head. We can't run forever. They will hunt you across every star, across every world. We need allies. We need to make a stand. Liam laughed bitterly. And where exactly do we find friends? In a galaxy where everyone wants me dead? Kayla smiled. Not kindly, but fiercely. There are those who hate the Silent Empire. Those who would fight if they had a leader brave enough to stand first. Liam looked at her, truly looked. This woman, the galaxy's strongest warrior, had chosen to follow him not because of power, but because of hope. For the first time, Liam stopped thinking of himself as a hunted boy. For the first time, he started thinking like a leader. Then we fight, Liam said, his voice steady. Kayla nodded once. They moved quickly through the ruins, keeping to the shadows. Every corner could hide a new threat. Every face could belong to a killer. In a hidden bunker beneath the city, Kayla introduced Liam to the first of many secret rebels. Broken soldiers, outcasts, forgotten races crushed under the boot of the Silent Empire. They were few, poorly armed, scarred by loss. But they listened. They saw in Liam something rare, not just power, not just a weapon. They saw hope as Liam spoke to them, promising to fight, to free, to lead. Something inside him grew stronger, something ancient, something powerful. The will forge. It answered not with chains, but with unity. The rebels swore, loyalty not because they were forced, but because they believed. Outside, the Silent Empire's ships filled the skies. Bounty hunters prowled the streets. Death crept closer with every breath. But inside the bunker, a different fire was born. Liam was no longer just a boy who defeated a warrior. He was the spark that could burn down an empire, and the Silent Empire had no idea how dangerous he was about to become. The rising storm, the air inside the hidden bunker was thick with tension. Old lights flickered overhead. Shadows stretched across walls lined with stolen weapons and broken armor. The rebels, a collection of scarred warriors and forgotten races, stood in a rough circle around Liam. He could feel their eyes on him, full of doubt, full of hope, full of fear. Liam knew he was not ready to lead a war, but he also knew running was no longer an option. Kayla stood by his side, silent and powerful, like a storm held back only by his presence. The Silent Empire knows we are here, Liam said, his voice steady even though his heart raced. They will come with armies. They will come with monsters. If we run, they will hunt us one by one. If we fight together, we stand a chance. The room was silent. Then an old rebel with a broken horn stepped forward. His voice was rough. Why should we follow a boy? Liam didn't flinch. Because I'm not asking you to die for me, Liam said. I'm asking you to live for each other. Slowly, others nodded. A murmur ran through the crowd, soft at first, then growing stronger. They would fight. Kayla leaned in close to him, her voice a whisper. They believe now, but belief will not be enough. Liam nodded. Then let's give them something more. Outside, the sky above the grave markets turned black, not from night, from ships. Massive dark shapes filled the sky like a swarm of steel locusts. The silent empire had arrived. Their ships blotted out the stars. Their soldiers, wrapped in black armor, marched through the streets. Towering war machines with cannons for arms crushed anything in their path. Over loudspeakers, a voice echoed through the ruins. Surrender the human called Liam. Surrender the traitor Kayla. Do this, and we will spare the rest. Liam stood at the broken window of the bunker watching the end approach. What's the plan? Kayla asked. Liam thought for a moment. Hit them where they think we are weakest, he said. Show them we are not prey. The rebels moved through the ruins like ghosts. Small teams hid bombs inside old statues, inside broken walls under rusted platforms. Others set traps, collapsing bridges, hidden spike pits, collapsing tunnels. They knew they could not win in open battle. But they could bleed the Empire. They could make them pay for every step. Liam, Kayla, and a few chosen fighters took the heart of the storm, the main square where the Empire's warlord set up his command. The warlord was a massive creature, half machine, half beast. He wore the insignia of the Silent Empire on his chest, a black sun swallowing a star. Liam studied him through cracked binoculars. The warlord gave orders without emotion, sending squads to search and destroy. Yeah, thinks we are hiding, Liam said. Let's give him a surprise. The first explosion tore through the eastern gate, flipping armored vehicles into the air like toys. Screams echoed through the streets. Before the Empire soldiers could react, sniper fire rained down from hidden towers, picking off commanders and officers. Kayla led a charge through the western side, cutting down war machines with brutal precision. Her blade sang through steel and flesh alike. The rebels moved like a pack of wolves, striking fast, disappearing faster. Liam stayed mobile, guiding teams, relaying orders through an old comm device. But he knew it was not enough. The Empire was too big, too strong. For every soldier they took down, 10 more replaced them. As Liam crouched behind an old wall, trying to catch his breath, a shadow fell over him. He looked up and saw a black-armored Titan stomping towards him, heavy cannons. Charging, Liam's blood froze. The Titan fired. Time slowed. Before the blast could hit, Kayla appeared, throwing herself between Liam and the death raining down. The world exploded in light and noise. When Liam opened his eyes, Kayla was kneeling beside him, armor scorched and smoking, breathing hard but alive. I told you, she said, smiling weakly. I will fight by your side. Rage and fear twisted inside Liam. He rose to his feet. No more running, he said. He touched the bond inside him, the strange, ancient will forge. It answered not with words, but with power. His voice rose, carried by something more than lungs and throat. To me, he shouted. Across the battlefield, every rebel, every fighter turned towards his voice. They felt it too, not orders, not commands. Hope, unity, strength. They rallied. The Silent Empire pushed harder, unleashing giant beasts and flying machines. But the rebels, fueled by Liam's will, fought back harder. Kayla stood at his side, unstoppable. Together, they tore through the enemy lines, reaching the command center. The warlord, massive and cruel, waited for them. Liam faced him without fear. You are nothing but a boy, the warlord growled. You cannot stop the Empire. Liam smiled grimly. Maybe not, he said, but we can. And with a single cry, the rebels charged. The battle raged through the night. Fire lit the ruins. The ground shook under explosions. The Empire's forces broke apart piece by piece, unable to crush the rising storm. When the dust settled, The rebels stood bloodied but alive. The Empire's ships withdrew, dragging their wounded pride behind them. They had lost, for now. Inside the ruins, Liam stood among his people, no longer a boy hunted by fear, but a leader born of fire and battle. Kayla placed a hand on his shoulder. "This is only the beginning," she said. Liam looked out over the broken city, the broken stars, the broken chains. "Then let's begin," he said quietly. In the distance, thunder rolled across the dead lands, but it was not the Empire's wrath anymore. It was the sound of a new war coming, a war Liam was ready to fight. Master no more. The fires from the battle still burned in the ruins. Smoke curled into the black sky. The ground was broken, scattered with shattered machines and fallen warriors. Inside a half-destroyed building, Liam sat alone. His hands trembled slightly as he wrapped bandages around his arm. Every part of him ached, but it was the weight inside his chest that hurt the most. They had won the battle, but something had changed, something in Kayla. She stood outside, silent, staring into the endless night. Her armor was cracked, blood and oil stained her hands, but she looked untouched, unbothered, like the violence had carved her into something harder. Liam watched her through the broken window. She had saved his life again and again, fought beside him, trusted him, and yet tonight she felt different. The bond between them, the strange connection forged in battle, had weakened. Liam could feel it like a rope, fraying strand by strand. He rose to his feet, ignoring the pain, and went to her. "Kayla," he said softly. She didn't turn. "You should rest," Liam added. Finally she spoke, her voice distant. "Rest is for those who are free." Liam frowned. "You are free. You always were." Kayla's shoulders tensed. For a long moment she said nothing. Then she turned, and Liam saw something in her eyes that froze him in place. Confusion, anger, sorrow, and fear. "Am I?" she asked quietly. "Or have I just traded one master for another?" Liam stepped back, stung. "I never forced you." "No," Kayla said sharply. "Not with chains, not with pain, but with the will forge, with destiny, with something I could not refuse." Her words cut deeper than any blade. Liam opened his mouth to argue, but stopped. Deep inside, he knew she was right. Even if he had never meant to enslave her, the bond had been formed without her true choice. Kayla looked up at the broken stars. "I was created to obey," she whispered. "Trained to fight, to kill, to serve, first by the silent empire, and now by fate itself." Tears burned Liam's eyes, but he blinked them away. "Then break it," he said hoarsely. "If you want your freedom, break the bond." Kayla's eyes widened slightly. It was a dangerous offer. Once the bond was broken, she would no longer be bound to him by any code, any honor. She could walk away. She could even turn against him. But Liam knew he had to offer it because true loyalty could not be forced. True loyalty had to be chosen. Kayla stepped closer, her face unreadable. "You would let me go?" she asked. "Yes," Liam said. "I never wanted to own you. I wanted to fight with you, not control you." A long silence stretched between them, heavy and painful. Then Kayla drew her blade. Liam did not move. She pressed the tip against his chest right over his heart. "If I break the bond," Kayla said, "you will have no hold over me. I could leave. I could kill you." Liam met her gaze without fear. "I know." The blade trembled slightly. For a moment, the world seemed to stop. Then Kayla lowered the sword. "You are a fool," she said quietly, "but a noble one." A shiver ran through Liam's body. He felt the bond between them tear apart, not in violence, but like a thread being gently cut. Deep sadness filled him. The bond was gone. Kayla stepped back, breathing hard. She looked at her hands like she was seeing them for the first time. "I am free," she whispered. Liam forced a smile. "Good." But inside, a piece of him broke. He turned to leave, not trusting himself to say more. "Wait," Kayla said. He stopped, His heart pounding. "I am free," she repeated, "and I choose to stay." Liam turned slowly. Kayla sheathed her blade and stepped closer. She placed her hand on his shoulder, not as a servant, but as an equal. "No more masters," she said. "Only allies." Liam felt tears sting his eyes again, but this time he let them fall. He nodded. They stood together, side by side, under the broken sky. Outside, the galaxy shifted. Word of their victory spread like wildfire. Worlds oppressed by the silent empire began to whisper of rebellion. Broken kings and hidden warriors started to rise. And deep within the empire, in halls of steel and shadow, the High Council gathered. A new message was sent out, across secret channels and black markets. Liam must be captured at all costs. Kayla must be destroyed. The spark must be crushed before it becomes a fire. From the depths of space, a new enemy was already on its way, faster, deadlier, merciless. Not bounty, hunters this time, not soldiers, something worse, something built not to capture, but to erase, and it was coming for them. Faster than they could imagine. A new legend rises. The broken city lay silent under the dead stars. Liam stood on the rooftop of a shattered tower, the cold wind cutting through him. Beside him, Kayla watched, the horizon, her blade resting against her back. They knew something was coming. They could feel it in the air, heavy, electric, full of unseen danger. Liam tightened the straps of his worn jacket. Down below, the rebels worked quickly, reinforcing walls, setting traps, gathering every weapon they could find. But Liam knew, deep inside, it would not be enough. This was no longer a fight they could win with guns and courage. This was the moment that would decide if they lived or vanished like all the others before them. "They are close," Kayla said quietly. Liam nodded. "How bad?" Kayla's face was grim. "Worse than anything we have faced before." Liam looked out over the dark land. Far in the distance, a line of strange lights moved across the sky. Cold, perfect, merciless. "What are they sending?" he asked. Kayla hesitated. "Purifiers," she said at last. "Machines built not to conquer, built to erase." Liam felt a chill crawl through him. Purifiers were not soldiers. They did not negotiate. They did not take prisoners. They burned everything until nothing was left. Memory, history, life itself. "How long do we have?" Liam asked. Kayla's answer was a whisper. "Not long." Liam closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the fear rise inside him. Then he crushed it down. He turned to Kayla. "Gather everyone. We make our stand here." Kayla's lips twitched. Not quite a smile, but close, as, "You command," she said, not as a servant, not as a slave, but as a warrior choosing to fight beside him. The rebels gathered in the ruins, their faces lit by firelight and fear. Liam stood before them, heart pounding. "The silent empire sends its worst," he said, voice steady. "They want to erase us. They want to erase hope." He looked at each of them. The broken soldiers, the forgotten races, the ones who had nothing left to lose. "But they forgot something important," Liam said. "They forgot that fire rises strongest from ashes." The rebels lifted their weapons, a low roar of defiance filling the night. Liam turned to Kayla. "Ready?" he asked. "Always," she said. The first purifier arrived before dawn. It was a giant, towering over the ruins, its body a mass of black steel and burning red lights. It moved with terrible purpose, each step shaking the ground. More followed. 10, 20, 100. They marched without sound, without mercy. The sky above darkened as swarm ships blocked out the stars, dropping smaller, machines like raindrops of death. Liam stood at the front lines, Kayla beside him. The rebels spread out behind them. "Hold the line," Liam said. The purifiers charged. The ground erupted as bombs hidden under the streets exploded, tearing through the first wave. Machines burned, but more came, unstoppable. Rebel snipers fired from the rooftops, hitting weak spots, slowing them down. Kayla moved like a force of nature, her blade carving through metal and machine. No fear, no hesitation. Liam fought too, not with the strength of a warrior, but with the strength of a leader. He moved through the battlefield, shouting orders, rallying the falling, lifting the broken. But it was not enough. The purifiers were endless. Slowly, brutally, the rebels were pushed back. Liam stumbled, falling against a broken wall. Blood dripped from a cut above his eye. A purifier loomed over him, its weapon charging. Liam raised his arms, ready for the end. But before the blast could come, Kayla slammed into the machine, driving her blade deep into its core. It shuddered and fell. She helped Liam to his feet, her hands firm and steady. "You must survive," she said. "We survive together," Liam replied. Kayla hesitated. "There may come a moment when I cannot stay, when you must lead alone." Liam shook his head. "No, we stand together, till the end." Kayla looked at him, really looked, and for the first time, her face softened. "Then let's finish this," she said. The battle raged until the world itself seemed to bleed. One by one, the rebels fell, but they fought like legends, taking down purifiers even as they died. Liam felt the will forge inside him burn brighter, reaching out, touching every fighter's heart. They rose again and again, fueled by something stronger than orders. Hope. But hope alone could not stop the tide. As the final purifier approached the rebel stronghold, Liam knew they had only one chance. "All units," he shouted, "fall back to the core." Inside the heart of the stronghold they had hidden a weapon, an ancient core left from a forgotten war. Unstable. Dangerous. Liam planned to use it, not to escape, but to end it. Kayla stayed by his side as they activated the core. Energy hummed. In the air, growing stronger, hotter. The purifiers closed in. Liam placed his hand on the trigger. "Thank you," he said to Kayla. She nodded once, fierce and proud. "You showed me freedom," she said. "Now I fight for it." The last purifier broke through the walls. Liam slammed his hand down. The core exploded in a blinding wave of energy, swallowing the ruins, the purifiers, everything. When the light faded, the battlefield was silent. The silent Empire's machines were gone, erased. The rebel stronghold was nothing but ashes, but somewhere beyond the smoke, survivors rose, scarred, battered, but alive. They carried the story with them, of a boy who defeated the strongest warrior, who united the broken, who faced the impossible, and lit a fire no empire could ever kill. They carried the legend of Liam and Kayla, a new legend, a new beginning. And somewhere, in the endless stars, Liam and Kayla watched, not as master and servant, but as warriors, as friends, as the spark that would burn the darkness away. The galaxy would never be the same again.